Okay, I'm ready to start welding on this piece. I want to make sure my high-low looks good, up and down, the face of the flange is level. I've got my spacer in there. My pipe is level, the face of my flange. Some little adjusting on it according to my level. Let's see what it says. That looks pretty good right there. Everything looks good. I'll go ahead and put the first tack in. I'm going to turn my lens on. I just took lunch, so my lens shut off. Okay. These quick change lenses in these helmets, like the one I've got, it's a little pricey. It's a good lens though. It's a 3M lens. It's the most consistent lens I've ever welded in. I've tried everything out there for sure about quick change and then the solid lenses. I don't care for solid lenses anymore. The only time I use a solid lens if I have to is when I'm TIG welding, because sometimes when you hide the cup, you roll the cup around on the tungsten, the arc disappears and the lens flashes, and it's aggravating. It doesn't hurt your eyes. I always wear safety glasses, which helps a great deal, but when you put this hood down, you can still see the activity you're fixing to strike up your arc and your piece. And instead of putting your hood down like that, and I put that in that e-book that you got, that your hand, when you throw your head down, it wants to pull your body off. I mean, I'm exaggerating in that, but it does pull your body off in your position slightly. Some jobs I've been on, I said in the book as well, if you strike outside the weld path, you can get fired. I mean, I literally was on a job one time welding Schedule 20 carbon steel, some of the best material I'd ever welded on for carbon steel. Real thin though, and there was no room for error on that pipe. And you had to be super careful, man, because the weld inspector, he was looking for you to make a mistake. Sometimes those guys are like that sometimes, but they're doing their job, I guess. I don't know. But here we go. Okay, I got my tack in. Then roll my spacer out of there, put that in my bucket. Check my flange. It's off a little bit. The bottom's got to go in. So I'll take my hammer. I'll just go ahead and secure that bottom. Put that bottom in a little bit. Give it a couple of whacks. Got a pretty good tack on it, so it's going to take a little force to get that in. Still a little more wouldn't hurt. Let's try it again and see what we got. That's close enough. Little lines, this is not super critical. There are some fit-ups that require pretty precise measurements and calculations. This is not super critical right here. My gap's a little small on the bottom. I'm going to turn my heat up to about 95, 96, 95. Put my tack in the bottom. Okay. Now, on the rest of this, you can either use a framing square, because I've got to square the flange on the pipe this way as well. I can either roll this and level it out again, or I can just take a square and a tape measure. You got an aluminum 2-foot square here and a tape measure. You can take a framing square and a tape measure and go ahead and square this off the face of the flange. Make sure you keep that in there, and then just off the center of the pipe somewhere, go ahead and just, I can move this in and out. I can move the square in and out to wherever a precise measurement is. So I can pick just say the 4-inch mark on there. So I'll come out to 4 inches in the front, and then I'll just go down here to the back, and that's way out. according to the square, this side has to go in to pull the square around. So I need to tap that with a hammer. Looks like a good shot. Let's go off 4 inches again. That's good. That actually is a little too much. It's about a 1/16 off. Okay? So I'll just go ahead and tap it in a little bit. About 4.5 now. Still got it's too much. I'm going to go out a little bit. Oh, that's too much. Jumped on me. I just didn't know I was that strong. Okay, 5 inches. So 16. I'll give it one more shot. Try that. I think I'm just going to live with that, no matter what it is, and just make my will and the heat I put on it draw it to where I want it. That's it, it's perfect. Great. Okay, so now I can put my tacks in the sides, and I'm going to put the tack on that side first, because that's the side I was trying to pull. And you want to hear that sound, that closed in, kind of, you know, how's that? Pretty good, huh? You want to hear that sound on there, because it sounds closer to you and not closed in on. It doesn't sound like it's in a cavern when it's not inside the bevel. If your gap is too small and you're trying to shove that rod in there, and it's kind of, you can hear the sound real loud coming back at you, you're not getting good penetration. You have to listen for welding as well as see it and, you know, smell something. There's a lot to it. So I'm going to come over here, and I've got a little bigger gap on this side. I hand bevel this pipe, and it's pretty close, but it's not perfect. Okay, now I can go ahead and thin my tacks out. Just kind of hit my tacks real quick. Now I can roll this around and do what I want with it because everything is secure. I'm going to thin this out a little bit. It's kind of drawn together because obviously my hand bevel didn't get this pipe exactly true like a machined edge would be. So I'm going to thin it out so I don't have to struggle with it. Just a little bit. I don't want a big keyhole like last time. I'll show you the inside of that weld that we made on that 90. And I don't know if you remember, but there was a big keyhole that I had to stop and kind of just butter it in there, and the metal sagged really too much inside the bevel. That type of blobber hanging inside your weld could be too much. It's called excessive penetration, and on the critical weld path, that wouldn't make it. I'd have to cut that out and then try, and then I'd be struggling the rest of the time welding it. So I just want to thin that out just a little bit, maybe adjust my heat from there if I need to. I'm going to go ahead and position the camera, and we're going to go ahead and put our bead in and start the weld procedure again.